Hey, what's up? James Ryan here. I'm going to do a simple but really important lesson. Somebody asked me a question recently about how do I join the dots? How do I move from one shape to the next and connect up the different scale shapes? So I'm going to give you a couple of tips, a couple of pointers that have helped me out and hopefully will help you guys out as well. Here's one. It's really obvious, really simple, but super important, and that is for the main keys that we play in all the time. Know where the root note is all over the neck for those keys. So in other words, if you're playing in E, know every different place you can play E and get comfortable just being able to move to those quickly. So let me give you a bit of an example in all the main keys. Here we go with E. Something like that. Let's do A. Okay, and you'll see the way that I'm doing this as well is trying to play the notes in a musical kind of a way, or what I think is musical. In other words, slide into them, do hammer-ons, vibrato. If it's a high note, bend, because that's the way you're going to use them in an improvising kind of a situation. Let's do a few more keys. D would be another important one to do. Don't forget about your opens, particularly for the key of E, A, D and G. You want to know that those opens there are they're ready and available, like so. Like that. Next would be G. I reckon it's a good one to know. Most of them there. So then you'd go through the other sort of in order of importance. Do C, do F. If you have a favorite key, definitely work on that and get to know those positions really well. So for example, one of mine is F sharp. Etc, etc. Just get to know those really well and just keep going over it and trying to do something cool and musical with those root notes. Okay, now let's look at one of the billion ways that you can connect up these shapes and start to make more of what you already know. One of the simplest things you can do is just do some position shifts that force you out of that position that you're stuck in. So for example, in F sharp minor, instead of just playing the regular minor scale here like so, what you might do is on the 4th string do a slide, or I should say just a position shift from the 2nd to the 4th fret like this. So by doing that you force yourself into the next position and you're going to have to play a different shape. Then we can repeat that exact same shape up an octave. So starting on that note, if we did this pattern. So I've done a position shift from the 5th fret to the 7th fret on the 2nd string. So all of a sudden we've gone from the 2nd fret and we're at the 7th fret really without having to do much work at all. We can do a similar thing in the final octave. So starting there, starting on the 7th fret of the 2nd string, we can do the 6-note pattern. And then just move up to the 12th fret on the 4th finger. And then stick a bend on the end which will take us back up to the root note. So I've actually covered 3 entire octaves and we're really just looking at one shape and just a couple of simple shifts. The next thing you want to do with that is improvise within that framework, because you obviously don't want to do just one big run up and down, and you don't want to practice that too long just up and down either, because all you're going to do is get stuck in that pattern and find it hard to get into the improvising kind of way of doing it. So do that a few times. As soon as you kind of got your head and your fingers around it, start to do something more like this. Or maybe a bit more like this. So you're really starting to get this when you can't hear the position shifts, because you don't want it to sound obvious. You just want it to sound flowing. So hopefully something like this. And a little bit extra there.